Yo, what's going on, guys? Jacoby at Brown's Quality Lawn Care back here for another video. I believe we got something pretty good to talk about today. This is something that helped me, and I pray that it helped someone else. So you've seen the title of the video. Title is "The Route is Where Lawn Care Business Win or Lose." I think that's very true. And one thing about it, I'm learning that in lawn care, the route is where you either win or lose. A lot of people look at the business and think it is just about cutting grass. They see the mower, they see the trailer, the truck, the yards, and before and after pictures. And they think that it is the whole business, but that's really not the whole business. But the longer I do this, and I have realized, the more I realize the real money is not just made on the lawn. The real money is also made in how you build your route. Because you can have good customers, nice properties, and full schedule, but if your route is not efficient, you can still lose time, lose energy, burn extra fuel, wear down your trailer, your equipment, and leave lots of money on the table by passing other yards. This is something I did not fully understand in my first few years in the business. When you first get into it, of course, you're looking to get the land the first customers, then you're looking to land the second customers. You want the phone to start ringing. You're just looking for that yes. You look for someone to give you a yes, to give you an opportunity to work, someone you can add to your schedule. And also, in the beginning stages, you're hungry. You're looking for that. You're trying to build. You're trying to prove that you can do the work. But once you start growing, you learn that every yard is not just a yard. Every yard has to fit somewhere. It has to fit in the route. It has to fit in the schedule. It has to fit the price. It has to fit the time. It has to fit the direction the business is going, right? You have to know the route that you're taking your business, because it's not just because you want it to fit that it has to fit. It has to. If you force it in there, it's going to cost you something more than you realize. Cost something on the back end concerning fuel or whatever it may be. Like I said, one thing I'm learning now, that drive time is one of the biggest hit and loss in this lawn care business. You could be making money while cutting grass, trimming the edge of the blower, but when you're riding from one side of town to the other side of town, what you're making per hour, you're losing that. It's slowly dwindling down. But if you get those yards in clumps and clusters, doing 3, 4, 5, 6 at a time while the gate is down, the more you can make in that hour. You can be making a whole lot more money in that time frame. You could be saving a whole lot in fuel. This is why route efficiency matters. It's not just about how many customers you have. It's not about how well those customers, place on the route. You can have 10 lawns and be running all over town. But if you got, 13, 14 and 3 stops, and you only drove 2.5, 3 miles, you're winning. You're winning in the efficiency realm. You're winning in the route. So you have to make sure that you're doing that. That's, one of the things that I'm also learning is that, that is a huge part of my business, right? I make sure the yard fits the schedule. It fits the route. It fit what I'm doing. It fit the way that I'm trying to take my business. It fits, the neighborhoods that I'm trying to get in, So we have to make sure that we hold fast to understand that, hey, I don't just need yards. I need the right yard. And that's after you get yourself established. You probably can start honing in on this probably year 3 or year 4. I understand the first 2 years you're getting work. You're figuring out what side of town you want to be on, what subdivision, but we got to take that time to start locking in to the route, locking in to what we need to do, locking into how we want to take our route. We have to identify the yards that don't fit our route, and we have to work them off. It's not about being ugly. It's not about being nasty, right? You got to think about the truth about your business. If you're driving 20 minutes one way for a $50 yard, and then you got to ride 20 minutes back, that's 40 minutes. And realistically, if you get into a neighborhood, you could do a do 2 or 3 of those yards in the amount of time that you was riding. So that's the true meaning of being efficient, you know. And when you're efficient and you're not efficient, it can affect a lot of stuff. You know, it can affect the time that you have at home. It can affect how many yards you can finish that day. It can affect, you know, how much you use in fuel. It can affect your energy. Also, it can affect your quality. Before you get to the next property, this is why one bad, you know, route decision can throw off your whole day. You know, don't let one bad route throw off your whole day. You might have a property that pays okay, but it takes, you know, like I said, far to get there. It's a little farther than you would like or we would like. So we got to make those decisions to get those yards, you know, off our schedule. And you may be able to find someone you can pass them to, or, you know, be transparent with the customer. You know, after that year, you know, hey, just let them know, hey, you know, we're nailing down our route. We're trying to be more efficient. I can no longer service your property. Here's a list of 3 or 4 guys that's in your area, right? You don't have to be an ugly thing. You can still do it in the right way. As the Bible says, do everything in decency and order. You can still be respectful in how you do that. But let's finish up this topic. I'm also learning that every dollar is not always good money. Some money comes way too fast and wastes your time. Some money pulls away from your route. Some money sounds good at first, but once you add the drive time in, the trimming, the fuel, the cleanup, and the pressure it puts on your schedule, you realize it wasn't as profitable as you thought. This is why route density is powerful. Route density is powerful. When you can get properties closer together, the whole business start moving better. You are not wasting as much time between stops. You are not burning as much fuel. You can get more done in a shorter window. You can respond better when the weather changes. You can keep the day more organized. You can protect the quality of your work. And for me, quality still matters. Doesn't matter that I had this customer for a while. For me, quality still matters. Even if I had them 5, 10, 20 years, quality still matters, because that quality you're doing on that lawn is going to land you more in that neighborhood. Quality still matters. You do not want to be running so hard after the yards and you just looking rushed. I mean, I've seen sometimes people pull up on the property and they get out looking rushed. You know, you want to get out, look smooth, look efficient, look like, you know, hey, you finna do a good job, you know. And you can tell the ones when you see them that they get out and they look rushed. You know, at the end of the day, people are not paying, you know, us for a show, but they are paying us to do a good job, to do the job the right way. Efficiency is about cutting waste in fuel, wasting motion, wasting energy, wasting decisions as well. A better route helps you serve the customer better and protect the business at the same time. And that is something I'm trying to grow in. I'm not saying I have it all figured out. I'm still learning. I'm still making adjustments. I'm still looking at the route every day, looking at the route every week. A lot of times I pull up, you know, my yards and my route, and I see where there's for me, I see a drop off. And when I go back in that neighborhood, I'm putting out door hangers. I'm targeting it, right? That when it fills up, it's going to fill up in the area that I want to be in, the area that makes sense, the area I'm trying to grow in, the area that I'm trying to dominate. So I don't want to waste time and decision and fuel going into farther off. You know, a better route helps you serve your customers, like I just said. So make sure we're doing that, that we're doing what's necessary. The one thing I learned, the route will expose if your prices are too low. The route will expose you if you are taking yards too far away. The route will expose you if you are overbooking yourself. The route will expose you if you do not have enough room with rain days. You know, you have to build in those rain days, those rain delays, and when you have to not cut for a day. The route will expose, you know, every weak system in your business, right? Because when everything goes right, you know, anybody can look organized, but it's about what you're going to do when things get shaken. What are you going to do when your route, you know, you have those rain delays and things are going different. You got to have systems in place that keeps you organized, that keeps your route moving the way that you need the route moving. You cannot just wake up every morning and freestyle the business. You need to know where you're going. You need to know what day you're going in the areas, or what areas are being served. You need to know which yards go together. You need to know which ones slow you down. You need to know which ones need more time. You need to know where the profit is really coming from in your business. So the goal is to build something that works, a business that can grow, a business that can serve customers well, a business that can still leave room for your family, a business that can still give peace, a business that is not surviving but actually becoming healthier. That's the goal, to see our business become more healthier. The healthier our business are, the more we can make on that bottom line. When you look at that bottom line every month, hopefully you're looking at your bottom line to see what your profit was from month to month. I do that, and I figure out where I fell off. Where did I fall off from last month? So you have to make sure you look at those things in your business as you go along. You want to see the healthier side of your business. You have to be active, be productive in your business. You have to pay attention to your routes in your business. Pay attention to your routes. You will see a lot of stuff if you pay attention to your routes. If you pay attention to your route, you would know. Like for instance, I know my route on Tuesdays, right? I know one. I even made this adjustment. I flipped my route because I know the ones that I normally do on the top end hold water. So I started working from the bottom end to let the other ones dry out. Versus going to the wet ones first in the morning, and then a 20-minute lawn takes us 40, right? You got the power as an owner to make that decision. Flip your route. You're still going to be efficient. It's what's built into that day. Flip your route, and you can still be efficient in your route instead of spending an extra 20 minutes on each wet property. So now we're flipping our Tuesday route. We're just starting at the bottom, working our way to the top. That's the power of an efficient route. That's the power of knowing your business and what you need to do every single day. We pray that you guys had a blessed day. We pray that this is a great message for you. If you like this video, please give us a like in our comments. And if you want to hear more things from us, let us know what you want to hear in the comments. We are open to any feedback. God bless you guys. Brown's Quality Lawn Care, we out.